Very good morning, everyone. So welcome to just 2 minutes. Let me check couple of things. Yeah, very good morning, everyone. So welcome to once again with our Beyond Basis webinar. What we do it on a regular basis. Thank you so much for everyone you have registered for the session. Before we start the session, I'll give you some ground rule in terms of attending the session. All the participants will kept on the mute mode. So if you have any questions by using a lower taskbar, you can raise hand and then we can unmute you and you can go ahead and speak. Please make sure that all these sessions are getting recorded for a record purpose so that if there is any query or when you have it or your team have it or any other customer have it, they can refer this recording. Over and above, uh, this is a series of session which we call it Beyond Basic. If you are aware about a basic about product, so we just level up slowly, gradually. So this is a series we keep doing it every alternate week. So today's topic is purchase process and item cost tracking and more. So I'll be taking you through. Before starting the sessions, let me give you a little brief about myself. My name is Yusuf Merchant. I work with Tally Solutions and I handle mostly Influencer Connect, and I work with a lot of partners in UAE and other region as well. So without further ado, I'll start the session. I have got some PPT here just to set a context of the session. I'll be taking you through. Then I'll switch to product and then I'll be showing you real time how the entries in is done in the real time mode. So having said that, let's start. And if you have registered for your colleague and other people, if they've not joined, please ask them to join. Thank you so much. So agenda of the session is purchase order tracking. So the moment you purchase something, there'll be a tracking in that scenario. When you receive a good, so there will be a receipt note, like you've received the certain goods, and then there'll be a purchase process. So the entire process is very simple. It goes reverse in terms of sales. When you wanted to buy something, you raise a sales order. Based on that sales order, there is a if a certain party has given you multiple sales order, you accept one sales order or a purchase order. Once that is accepted, what you do is based on that, once it is approved on the email or the thing, he starts set you start sending a good or you start receiving the good, which is called good receipt notes or a delivery note. Based on that, all the delivery note and a purchase order, based on that, what you do is you put a you get a purchase invoice or sales invoice. Over and above this, when you import a product or export a product, what you do is you add additional cost on the purchase and then you increase the cost of your product, and that gives you proper landing costs. I'll show you that level as well, and setting up a reorder level. So I'll be showing you reorder levels as well. So just to give you a small brief, what is Tally Prime and key pillars of product, which is called Tally Prime. We have simplified the simplest. We had a product which was simple and we have made it more simpler. We made it for everyone, and each and everyone who touch the product, he feels and he doesn't want, he should not take any training and other thing. He can just switch to product and he can start using it by himself. It gives a greater flexibility. Now, when I start this key pillars, I said about Tally pillar, we had a product. Yeah, we prior to this, we had a Tally ERP9. So please make sure if there's any update, any compliance change, it'll come in Tally Prime. If you're using Tally ERP9, it'll work as it is. But if there's any change, any new updates or anything you wanted to use, you have to come to Tally Prime. So your Tally ERP9 will anyways work, but if there is a lot of things in Tally Prime, we insist you move to Tally Prime. It gives you a greater flexibility in terms of doing a data entry and a lot of things. You can toggle between windows. You can do multiple entries by switching reports, and it's more flexible in terms of printing and a lot of things, so on and so forth. It gives you a fresh look and feel in terms of, we had a legendary view of dark green and that one. Now we have changed the fresh look and feel to Tally Prime, and you get all reports on the browser. You can save the report. So for what you can do is you can configure your report and keep it on your dashboard, so that whenever you wanted to recall that report, see it, you can just get it from there. Then over and above, it gives you optimize report on the browser whenever you wanted to view any report. Say, for example, you are sitting in office and your salespeople are out and they wanted to check what is the outstanding. They wanted to give an invoice to your customer. They wanted to check a stock query or anything. They can check it by using Tally report on the browser. It can be mobile phone, tablet, iPad, you name a browser, it works accordingly. You can use a digital signature. If you have a pine drive or you have a digital signature, it can be enabled on your invoice, digital signature or stamp, it comes accordingly. Product differentiator, with regards to Tally Prime, there are so many product differentiator. I'll just put a glance on some feature while showing you a product. Customize report, go to switch to exception report, edit logs, a shortcut key, change view, basis of value, access anywhere, and digital signature. There are so many so many uh, a differentiator which I'll be taking you through slowly, gradually while showing you a product. Will not deviate from the topic, what we are here for, but along with that, I'll be showing you a lot of things. Now, I I have a small video to play, so I'll go on mute. Simran, if just make sure if everyone is able to hear it. So a small video and then we'll start the session.
Yusuf, it's not audible. Yusuf,
Yeah, Simran.
it's not audible. Please reshare your
Okay,
screen.
okay, I'll do that.
At Tally, we aspire to give you the best in technology to simplify your life, enhance your efficiency, and help you grow. Tally Prime does exactly this. A brand new business management software that handles the needs of your business in the best possible way. The latest release of Tally Prime brings you the best personalized reports viewing experience, the best experience of accessing your data while on the move, and a lot more. Tally Prime comes with a whole host of reports, which gives you deep insights about your business, so you can take informed decisions. In the latest release, these reports have become more powerful and personalized. You now have the ability to not only customize your preferred view, but also save the view and access it instantly the same way every time. This just means that reports in the product become truly yours. And you can save precious time and effort. You can also share your preferred view with others, so they can see the reports exactly how you want them to see it. And talking of seeing reports the way you want, Tally Prime now gives you a great experience while accessing your data on the move. No matter which way you prefer looking at your report or whichever report you want to see, it adapts completely and just works the way you want it to. That's not all. There are a whole host of experiences in the product, which will help you do more and get more out of the product. So why settle for good when you can get the best? Tally Prime, the best your business can get. Upgrade now from tallysolutions.com.
Yeah, so just 1 second. What I'll do is I'll reshare my screen and then again you'll see Tally Prime. Yeah, so the entire the small clip what we have shown It's mostly about what is there in Tally Prime, what are the new feature, what all things you will be going through. Now, what I'll do is, as we are we are doing a session on purchase order process and everything. I have some data with me, but what I'll try to do is today I'll create a company. I'll show you from the start, and then you can learn it. So this session is getting recorded, so don't worry if you have anything, we can take it. I think there are a couple of people have raised hand. So what if you're not able to hear or anything, please write it on the chat box. I have my colleague along with me. She'll be taking that questions. If I'll allow you to speak at the end of the session, you just write it on the chat box and I can take the questions accordingly. So I'll just create a company, say sales order and purchase order processing. Now, this is the company name. I hope everyone is able to see my screen. Yeah. So now what I'll do is the company is based in Dubai. Financial year start from 1st Jan and 22. And I'll just enable it. Now, the moment I enable a company, just 1 minute. Just wanted to confirm, Simran, my screen is able to is visible, right?
Yes, Yusuf.
I hope now my screen is visible and everything is good to go.
Yeah, Yusuf, can you please reshare your screen again? There's some resolution issues.
I will reshare my screen. Now is it fine?
Yes.
Okay. So what I've done is I've created a company. The moment I create a company, it gives me this screen. So maybe when you're using it for the first time, it won't give you that much feature. It will bring up only this feature. If you just go to show more feature, you'll get more features. I'll just say this no. It will give you basically most of the feature. If you wanted to enable some more feature, you can just go say show more feature and you can enable accordingly. Now, what I'll do is for this, I'll enable job order processing. Just to give you a small brief, the moment we get any device, anything, any software or anything, what happens is there are always 4 steps what you have to follow. Say you buy a mobile phone, what you do? First, you download an application of your wish. Then what you do is you create a contacts of your relatives, friends, family. Then what you do is you start talking to them, and later whenever you want, you refer to the reports or refer to your chats. Similar thing goes with any software. Say first I've create a company, then what I'm doing is I'm enabling the feature. Then the second step what I'll do is I'll define the master. Then what I'll do is I'll do the transaction, and fourth it will give me all the reports. So what I'm doing is enabling feature. I'll just control A and save this. Now the company is created, it's right in front of you. Now it says master transaction reports. So what I'll do is as we have enabled the feature, I'll immediately jump to the voucher ads. It's a beyond basic session. What I'll do is I'll try to jump to the session, jump to the vouchers directly, or what I'll do is I'll try to create some stock item. So when you wanted to create multiple stock item, when you wanted to create multiple ledgers, multiple supplier, this is how you can do it. You just go to charts of account, you go to ledgers, and say I'll just go to stock item and I'll just create a multi-master. I'll say create multi and I'll make a group. So I'll make a group, say trading goods. Now I'll say I'll just say let's take some examples. Say glass bottle would be one example. So let's do uh, this session will just make it. I'll take some customers example. Yeah, these days mobile is getting launched, so every now and then there are new mobile phone. So what we'll do is we'll take some consumer durable, say air fryer. Air fryer, I'll just say pieces and say there's no opening quantity, and we'll create one more thing, say toaster. Again, trading, I'll put it as piece. Then we'll say mixer pieces. Now I'll say hand booster. So I've created some goods. So with one click, I've created a 4 stock item. I'll save it. This all 4 stock item has come here. Now what I'll do is I'll create. Either I can go to create and I can create my customer supply. I can create the ledger. I'll go to multi create. I'll go to ledgers. I'll go to multi create. I'll say the first is sales import purchase under purchase group. Then I'll say local purchase under again purchase. Then I'll say uh, this 2 things, and then say I'll create some every now and then. So I've created. So if you see now under purchase, there are 2 purchase account I've created, and in the stock I've created certain accounts. So I'll go back to create. What I'll do is I'll infuse some money in the business, and then slowly, gradually, I'll start doing the transaction. So first thing is I'll go to voucher. First, I'll do a capital introduction. Just 2 minutes. Yeah. So I'll go to voucher. I'll just go to the receipt. Owner has invested some money in, say, it came in bank, HSBC bank. Now bank will be under bank account, and say I'll put some random account number, IBAN number. Then Swift code, and I'll select the bank. If you have a license version, you can select the bank exactly what you are using, HSBC UAE, branch Dubai. And say if you wanted to enable check printing or just make it yes, then go back down. So it will give you a multiple check. Say I have this kind of check format number 2 with me. I'll just save it. So whenever you want it to print, you can print it. It will give you a preview once you have to put the check accordingly in the tray. The configuration is done here. Now this is a check printing I'm doing. I'll just enable certain, yeah. So this is check I'm doing. I'm getting cash. I'm getting it from the capital. I'm getting it from owner. I'll say owner investment and under capital account, and I'll save it. So owner has put 100,000 in this business. Via check, the money has come into the business on from 1st Jan. Now, if you see the moment one entry is done, you go to balance sheet, you'll see the entire thing has been created. Now what I'll do is when you wanted to do, as we will be taking a purchase order, so we will be needing a good receipt note. We'll be needing a good receipt note. We'll be needing a purchase order. What I'll do is I'll put the I'll just go to alter. I'll go to voucher type. I'll just say purchase order. I'll just press. I'll go here. And what I'll do is I'll just go to method of voucher numbering. I'll just put a voucher numbering. I'll just make it yes. The number starts from 1st Jan. It will start from PO. So say Jan. So it will start from PO dash, and say suffix will be dash 2022. So this is how the purchase order numbering will look like. And then I'll say receipt note, and in the receipt note again I'll just go to method of this automatic. I'll just make it yes, and here also it would be from 1st Jan. I'll say GRN dash from 1st Jan dash 2022. I'll just give you one disclaimer here. If you're using a live company, please make sure when you just go to voucher numbering, don't do it. Take assistance from a tele partner or your seniors, because what might happen if you start using it from today, and if you change the voucher numbering, there'll be a issue in terms of all the voucher numbering might get changed. So please take a backup before you do it, or create a new voucher type and start doing it accordingly. Now what I'll do is I'll just go back and first thing, I have a capital. I'm making calls to my supplier, and supplier has given me a couple of purchase order. So I'll raise 2-3 purchase order. Based on that purchase order, I'll accept one purchase order, say purchase order number 3 or 2, and then based on that, I'll receive the goods, and then over and above, once the invoices come, I'll talk about reorder level. I'll talk about uh, additional cost or landing cost and other thing. I'll just go to voucher, and in what I'll go do is I'll just go to item, all the stock item, and I'll just go to F12, and there is a feature. So when you will be using a cost tracking, I'll just add a cost tracking number, enable here. Okay, I have to enable that feature. I'll just press F11. Enable cost tracking. If you make it yes, I'll just go to, so I'll just repeat. So when you wanted to put an additional cost tracking, you just have to enable cost tracking, go to the items, and here just say enable cost tracking for all the stock item. So once this is enabled, what will happen? Say once you get a stock from your supplier or customer, and you're paying something extra to DHL, or you're paying to clearing agent something extra, so that additional cost can be tracked. Now let's go back to the first entry. We'll do a purchase. Now, say for example, you will be looking for where is the purchase? How can I get a purchase order? It's very simple. Simplify the simplest. You don't have to search. It's linked to purchase. You can just click on this small arrow here. It will give you a purchase order. Okay, now if it is not enabled, you just press F10, just go to purchase order, press enter, it will enable. Now the purchase order is enabled, the voucher numbering is coming right in front of you. Now we have not created a customer. Now a supplier. So what I'll do is I'll create a supplier, say China supplier, and it would be my sundry creditors. And again, so see, I've made a mistake. Whenever you create a supplier, you make sure that customer, if it is from China, the country and all the supply is very important to add. Say for example, this customer is in China. So what I'll do is I'll just go to country and I'll just change it to China. Done. Now this is a purchase order. I am just doing an import purchase, and where air fryer, he's giving me the quotation will last for 10 days. The quantity I'm buying 1,000 per piece. He's charging me 20 dirhams. Now I'll just say cost tracking as PO1, and say again hand booster, say 10 days. Say I'm buying 100 quantities. The rate would be 25 AED per piece, and cost tracking, I'm just putting it on this. Again, the mixture I'll take, again, it would be 10 days. I'll buy 100 quantity. The rate is 30 dirhams. Cost tracking I'll enable here again. Now what I'll do is I'll buy a toaster, 10 days, quantity would be 100,000. I'll say the rate is 32. Again, I'll raise it again to cost tracking. All this, I've got it. So this is a purchase order 1. I'll save this. Now, I had a discussion with the party that what rate you have given, I'm not liking the rate. Can you please revise the rate and send it to me? Get a discounted column in that. Please give me some discount on this. So you had a discussion. This was purchase order 1. Now what happens? This entry is done. What you do is he has sent you another invoice. So this another purchase order. So you just write PO2, automatically that number gets refilled. Import purchase, and here what I'll do is I'll just go to F11 and I'll say use different use discount column invoice. I'll just make it yes. So here automatically there is a new column which has come in, which is called discount. So again, air fryer. So what I'll try to do, I'll just show you one more shortcut. So I'll just go to daybook. This is a purchase order. Now what I'll do is I'll duplicate this alt to, sorry. So this order I'll press control 2. 2 minutes. So just to show you how it will or how the this display show bottom bar, I'll make it yes and that. So now if you see here, this purchase, if I wanted to make it duplicate, the bottom bar will give me a shortcut. I'll just press this, it will duplicate. I'll just press F2. I'll say second then PO order to import purchase. Now the entire entry remains as it is. I'm not doing any change. So it's like you're not doing a double work in terms of doing this entry. You're using the features what we have. So here he has given on this, he is giving me 1% discount on other one. So again, I'll just make it to PO2. So this will be linked to purchase order 2. On this stock, he is giving me 2% discount. On this stock, he is giving me, say, again, 1% discount. On toaster, he has agreed that he'll give me 2% discount or say 1.3% discount. And again, I link it to the second purchase order. So now you have received, on second, you have received another purchase order. You go back to daybook. If you go make it open everything, you see there are 2 purchase order 1, purchase order 2. How I change the entry by clicking one button, I've copied that and I've changed little details and it has got accordingly. Now you had a discussion based on this purchase order, you had an email, everything is done. This has got approved from your manager, everything is done. Now there'll be goods will be this supplier will send you goods, and once you get the goods, then you'll get a purchase invoice. So we'll track that also, how it will work. You go to voucher again, you go to voucher. As of now, if you see here, receipt note is not enabled. So what you do is this is receipt note, which is nothing but GRN. If you need to enable, you press here, just say receipt note, press and activate. The receipt note has come. You see automatically it's taking the reference number. I'll just put it's taking a numbering, IMP PUR. So I'll just write import request by Yusuf. Say this was on 5th of January. You started getting this goods. Now the moment you say China supplier, I'll just press certain details, provide supplier detail and import details. If this is disabled, it will not give you a pop-up. I'll just say supplier China. Now what is this tracking? It's giving me a track of, based on this supplier has given you 2 purchase order 1, purchase order 2. You have approved on purchase order 2, you say purchase order 2 on 2nd of Jan and end of list. Now again, this will automatically the entire thing comes and fill. Now what this supplier has done is he has sent the partial good. He has not sent the mixture and the toaster. You just go down. You can just go here, click here, press spacebar, end of list, spacebar, end of list. So now he has just sent 2 things in the 5th January receipt note, which is called GRN. You have got this stock with you as of now. That now what happens on 7th of Jan, he has sent you again some product. So IMP. So again, I'll just write IMP PUR Yusuf. So with this also you can find out what all entries Yusuf has done. Let me just recall the previous one so that we don't have just 2 minutes. So this receipt note import request Yusuf. So I'll put the same number, same name. I'll just go to vouchers again. Now IMP dash REQ dash Yusuf. Now this is on 7th and again the same supplier. Now the moment you click purchase order 2, you save it, supplier China, automatically what all goods which are pending, it will come in this. Now when I save this, the goods has come. So you go to display, in your display, you go to stock summary on the trading goods, you get all the goods. The good has come. Till now, he has not given you a purchase. He has not given you a purchase invoice. Now the things are good, you've checked the good, or immediately at times they send you purchase invoice and everything comes together. But I'm just taking it. There's a delay in 1 or 2 days time. What happens? This is coming from China. I'll just go to voucher. I'll click on purchase. So everything is linked. You are now with this arrow, receipt note, purchase note. So and everything linked to purchase, it's right below this arrow key. Now, what I'll do is I'll put the supplier has given me an invoice number INV. So CHINTRD 2022. This is say 10,000 110 2022. This is his invoice number on date, which is 10th of Jan. So again, 10th of Jan. Now, China supplier. Now, the moment you go to China supplier, it will give you import request, Yusuf. So these are both GRN. You can select both the GRN one by one. Okay. Okay. So the moment I select the GRN number, the entire stock comes in. So you don't need to do anything. The moment you save this entry, the purchase comes into the picture. Now you go to display, you go to statements of account, you go to outstanding, payables, you see your payables are 0 date dues, you have got all this stock. So you have got purchase. So this is entire process of sales order, purchase order. Now you remember while doing, while showing you a presentation in terms of how this will work. So I'll do a recap very regularly on this once the entire flow is done. Now, just to recall what we did, we started with enabling two feature. We started with enabling feature in F11 button. We started enabling, say enable job order processing. Later on, I enable cost tracking. When this was enabled, I showed you how to create multiple stock item by using charts of account. Then we created two purchase account, local purchase and import purchase. Post that, I've altered all my stock with cost tracking because we have to do a cost tracking as well. Over and above, I changed the voucher numbering as PO1 PO-2020. Then I changed the GRN number also, numbering also I've changed. This is mostly used when you are giving it to somebody. I've changed it for your reference that how, if you're doing it for sales also, how it could be applicable. Over and above, then I raised two purchase order. Based on second purchase order, I received two GRN. There were two different good receipt note on different dates. I selected those. So when I go back, now I did here. I used one tip in using by using Tally. I press this button duplicate, which is in your down bar. If you wanted to get a, if you wanted to do it with the shortcut, you press Control 2. It will duplicate. So Control 2 is the shortcut. If there is one line, you press, Alt 2 is the shortcut. You can use it. I've duplicated the purchase. I've made the changes. What was done, what I've got in another purchase. Then I've got one receipt note, which we call it GRN. Then we got a second receipt note with other stock item, and then I raise a purchase invoice. Now the scenario is getting little level up. Now what happened is against this is 105,000 105,584 is the entire purchase cost for my product. When I go to my stock, so when I go to my display or when I press my go to and I just say stock query. In this stock query, it will give me a cost of per product is cost price is 90. And standard cost is this one. So once I press, it will give you what is the cost price, and with the discount is how much it is, 19.80. Now what we can do is, if you go to display and again you press go to stock query, here it will give you one thing, show order levels. We have not stopped buyers or supplier. It will not, yeah, so it will not show you reorder level as we have not set. What I'll help you how to set a uh, this reorder level for any stock, and how it will behave once you do a sales and purchase, once you do the sales to a customer. And I'll show you how the cost of this product will get changed. Now, while getting this stock, what happened, there was a supplier. So there's a DHL has given you an invoice for freight, custom, clearance, and a lot of charges. He has charged you. He has charged you around 1,000, say per thing. He has charged you certain things. You wanted to add that to the current purchase of an invoice. How to do that? It's a very simple thing. Either see, DHL has given you an invoice. You just go to put a voucher. You just click on payment. In payment, what I've done is I've pressed F12. I've enabled use debit credit by doing voucher, provide supplier voucher date, and party details, VAT, and other things. I'll just enable. Now what I'll do is, supplier has given you, DHL has given you one invoice which is on say 12th of Jan. Okay, so DHL dash is invoice number, say 12th Jan. Now you are paying him by bank. You put, now what is that supplier? We have not created DHL party. We'll just say new party. So DHL UAE. Now in this, I'll say it's from Dubai, and they had some TRN number also. Okay. Now what you're doing, I'll just go to create. Now I'll say freight. I'll just go to customs, clearance, and logistics charges. I'll just go to create, custom, clearance, charges. Okay, under indirect expenses. Here I have a type of ledger and method of appropriation in purchase ledger. I've just made it by quantity, or you can just go to indirect expenses, method of allocation, make it by quantity. So if I just say, I'll just repeat what I've done. In indirect expenses, I press Control Enter and say, I've said it's an expenses, but method of allocation in purchase would be by quantity. So once you say by quantity, once you save this, okay, custom clearance, if it is taxable 5% service. Now he has charged 4,000 dirhams. Again, here you have to press F12, apply cost tracking in ledgers. I have to enable. So when you create this ledger, you have to enable cost tracking for items. Once I enable this, this one can be tracked based on your purchase order. I'll say entire air fryer, it was 1,000. For again hand booster, it was 1,000. Then for mixture, it's just giving me all the based on purchase order where I've used the same tracking. Sorry. Mixture, which is of 2,000. Then there is toaster, 1,000 piece. I'm just placing 1,000 dirhams. Now over and above, I'll just create logistics charges under indirect expenses, and I'll just say cost tracking, yes, and say taxable 5% service. Now this also 4,000 dirhams. Again, you have to allocate the cost per product as per the invoice what you have received. Air fryer 1,000. Now you go hand booster, you have to do all the allocation manually. So you go back, hand booster 1,000. Then that is the toaster against that a mixture. That will be 1,000. Sorry, and air fryer. So see, you don't need to do everything here. They'll give you all the stock. The moment you say purchase, it will say toaster, and it's all tracking is done. This is entire 4,000 on this Packaging they have charged. Packing charges under indirect, and I'll say this item cost tracking. Yes. See, I'll say taxable service and save. Now on this, he has charged packaging 2000 dirhams. Now this would be on purchase one. For air fryer, it was 500. Then for hand booster, again, it was 500. So what I'm doing is I'm allocating cost to my stock. You don't need to allocate item wise because I've already made it tracking as per item wise. So this also 5,000 over and above. So over and above, there is a VAT charge on this, which would be 500 dirhams. So we have not created the VAT ledger. I'll just press create. I'll just say VAT. VAT would be under duties and tax. VAT, and here you say 5,000 dirhams. Now the entire allocation is done. On 12,000 you saved it. Now you preview, or this is this you're giving it by check. So the payment is also done. Now if you go back, if you go to your stock, now if you wanted to check what is your cost for all the stocks what you have got, you go to display, you go to inventory books, statement of inventory, sorry, inventory books, stock query. In this, it is giving still 20. Now what you have to do is you have to click on item cost analysis here. Now this item stock analysis item wise, say air fryer. Now this gives you air fryer. You make it detail. PO, it says 1000 Ps, consumption is this much. Entire cost tracking it will give. Again, you wanted to check the cost estimation for trading goods. Yeah. Just one thing. Yeah, with the stock query, it will give you an entire cost of that product based on your cost tracking. So once you track it, it will give you an estimation that how much is the cost of that product. Then once you do the sales, it will give you entire tracking of sales order, purchase order, and it gives you entire tracking how much was your cost. What I'll do is there are a couple of ways you do it, item cross tracking. Just to do a recall, I've done a sales purchase, I've done 2 PO, and there is 2 receipt, 1 purchase, and there's a payment. Now, this is one thing. Now I'll show you there is a lot of practically when you come and do it in your real time. There are a lot of things. There's some issue. Yeah, there is a question from Harshit Bhatia. What if the purchase in different currency? You can just create a multiple currency. I'll show you. I was coming to that, but clearing invoice always receive in lumps. So how to allot? So again, this is also a very nice question. I'll just take all this question in the data what I've got. So see, this is one thing we have done. Now what I'll do is I'll just go to company. I'll just go to select. I've got 2 companies. One is cost tracking company. This is another company. I'll just go to daybook of this company. Now in this, what I've done is there are 2 purchase. One I've bought it from China supplier. That's the import purchase 1000 piece, 2000 dirhams. Now, so there was an anonymous question. He has asked that what if the cost when the product comes in, there are 2 purchase and the payment you have done it to DHL for 2 different invoice. So this is a purchase from China. China has given me iPad Air. Now I have done a payment to via HSBC. If you see here, via HSBC to DHL supplier, freight is 4,000 dirhams under indirect expenses. Now here, cost tracking. I'm just tracking the entire invoice here. So there I was doing a cost tracking product wise. Here I'm doing it with invoice wise. It's the same way to enable. You can use it cost tracking. For an import, I can just find out 2,000 for this, 2,000 for this. Transportation was 8,000. For both the invoice, it's 4,000 allocation. Now there is a VAT which is normal 650 on entire amount. You save this. Now how to check the stock query? You go to item cost estimation for Apple. Sorry. So it gives you a cost rate of the product. The product price is 1850, and it's see additional expenses. The product price was something above expenses. It has changed. So this will give you entire difference in terms of. You go back to the stock query. You go to iPad Air. It gives you this was 1800 with the allocation. It's giving 1806. You go to this. Sorry. So it's 1806 is the additional cost on this one product. Now, when you sell it, you put a markup and sell it accordingly. Now, this is one thing. Now, what happens? There is one more scenario. What happens where there was a question was asked that answer live. There's a question if it is in multiple currency. So when it is in multiple currency, how it's done? I've created a company just to make sure that we utilize this time in terms of seeing a lot of report and Q&A. I have created one more company. I'll just go to select company. This is the company import landing cost. This is where it will answer the question which has multiple currency. I'll just go to daybook. I'll just open landing cost. Yeah, this company. I'll just say current period Jan 2018. And again, when I go to daybook, so see, when I've done a purchase, I've done this purchase S4A4 hinge bearing, and the price is I've taken 400 piece per piece is $8. When I've maintained multiple currency, I've just put the dollar symbol, put the currency amount. Air freight charges, yes, charge, and other custom duty, air freight non-taxable, air freight document taxable, transportation charge. So this all I've put it on the purchase invoice. So this is a second way of doing it. It's more simple in terms of doing the allocation. This is an invoice which you get, and then later on you get a purchase invoice for the same invoice. What you can do is you can put all this ledgers over and above that. I've created as a landing cost. Under landing cost, if you see, I've appropriate by value. Again, in custom duty, I've just set indirect landing cost. I've put it as per the amount. And at the end, I've created a landing account, control account for landing cost under current asset. And then it's total. I've added all this, and I've subtracted this 161.2 1612 for with this. Now the purchase value of your product per piece is 8.5 and this 915. So this will give you a stock query at once. Then what happens is I've done a general entry. I've put a landing cost. It was 312 and I have set DHL clearing agent as under sundry debtors. I have knocked off that. So what happens? Your liability again DHL will increase and your control accounts go zero. Now there was a VAT charge. I have opened control account 300. The VAT was 15 and it was trading supplier 315 was already. I've just put the VAT amount. So and then the sales was done with the markup price, and this is how the entire process will work. Now, if there are any questions, let me check. But the clearings, yeah, it shows how to convert purchase into general. Yeah, I've said, yeah, this question, Ajmal, I've shown you that how to convert purchase order into good receipt note. So what I'll do is purchase order is nothing, but you have to create a voucher type. You have to name it as a purchase order, and then under purchase, I can just help you how to create that. It's a very simple thing. You go to sales and purchase, you go to alter. So you go to create, you go to voucher type, just say sales, purchase, say, if you wanted to, your question was convert purchase orders to GRN invoice that I've already shown here. If you see in this daybook, press F2, purchase order is here. I've duplicated that. And then the moment you go to this receipt note, the moment you select the supplier, in the next screen, it will ask you purchase order number. Once you put the purchase order number, automatically entire detail gets filled. So in the purchase invoice, I've just put the same supplier. I've put the receipt name and end of list. It has converted, it was brought up everything. Now you might come up with a question. No, I have a quotation as well. I need to add a quotation in this all my stock item. How to get the quotation? So it's very simple. You just go to create, go to voucher type, just say sales quote. In this sales quote, you make it under sales order, and the same process is being followed accordingly. Okay, this is one. Now, what happens is, last but not the least, we had a discussion at time of showing you presentation. There is something called as reorder level. How to set the reorder level? Just go to create. So now we have stocks with us. We have put the additional cost. Now I'll show you. So as it's a beyond basic, I'll just show you two additional features here how you can add. First is reorder level. As we have a time which is permitted. Just you can just go to create, just type re or just 2 minutes alter. You just have to go to alter reorder level, just say stock item. Okay, now once you go to reorder level for air fryer, reorder quantity should be always 1000. When you have 100, there should be, it should minimum you should have 100. Now this is one. Now, over and above, if you wanted to advance reorder, it will give you a period, consumption, and all those things. If hand booster, reorder should be 1000. If it is 100, it should give you a notification. For mixture, also 1000, 100. Toaster, again 1000, and minimum quantity should be 100. Saved. All the reorder has been saved. Now, what you can do is the same sales order and purchase order company. I'll go to voucher. I'll click on sales. Now here also I'll show you one thing. So in this sales, say every time, say I'll say customer UAE under sundry debtors. When I'm doing the sales to any of my customer, you will just say, sir or Yusuf, what happens every time when I do this transaction, I have to put VAT ledger automatically. I have to put it by click of the button. Like I have to put the VAT ledger manually. How can I bifurcate that? How can I bypass that? One. Now, and when you sell an air fryer, say quantity you're selling, say 920 pieces, you have to check what is the cost. So you have to press Alt as, you have to find the air fryer's average cost, price, and other thing. Now, you every time when you sell, you have to put the price, you have to find out the price, you put the manual price or something. That is one. The second is you want the automatic VAT ledger should be placed on this. How this can be done? So I'll just take a small pause here as this I'll just launch a one poll now. So this really helps. Please everyone, I'll request everyone, please attend this poll. This help us rate this session. This help us what tally you're using, and this help us to design upcoming session. So I'll just launch a poll. Immediately you'll get a notification. Please rate us on this session. What product are you using? You just have to rate this immediately, and this will really help. I'm just launching this poll. Everyone will get a notification right now. Please take a minute, pause, and please attend this poll. By the time I'll take the questions one by one. So I'll just go from Ajmal sir, how to, so this I have answered. There is Hasib has said what you enable in payment voucher while additional cost. It was nothing but when I've just said in payment voucher to make it as an invoice. What I've done is, so I've just bypassed one thing. So in payment, what I've done is I've pressed F12. They put the supplier date and invoice date. So what happens is you don't have to do two dates. You put the supplier detail and everything. So if you enable this, it will give you an invoice detail. You're paying from bank, but it gives you a supplier detail, and you can, once you put the VAT also, it can be done. The second one, so this has been answered. So Mr. Anil had a question. Dear, if one portion 50 line item shortcut to allocate additional cost. So you just Now, see, manually you can just put the 50 item and it can be done accordingly. It gives you a drop down menu. You can allocate accordingly. Kayati, can we create a report invoice PO against cancel pending order? Yes, there is a report. I'll show you that report after in next minute, or else I'll just show it to you right now. So you just go to display statements of inventory, purchase order, outstanding. Item category wise, it will give you all air fryer. This is pending. Every purchase order or all the orders, it will give you what is the purchase order, what are the pending, how many days are pending. Okay. Now cancel. If you cancel all purchase order made but bill is not made, it will give you all this. There are a lot of report. Reorder status, it will give everything will come. Now, having said that, I'll just we stopped everyone in doing two things: adding a cost of selling and buying price, setting a selling and buying price for all the stocks, and adding VAT ledger on the invoice. How to do that? To add a VAT ledger on invoice, you go to alter, you go to voucher type, just go to sales. Once you are in the sales, there is an option, use default accounting allocation, make it yes. Go down, set a default allocation, just make it yes again. Now in the sales, for entire 100%, you just have to skip that. And here, you just put VAT, save. So now once you make a sales invoice, automatically there will be a VAT ledger. The second one is in the, again, in alteration of the stock item, you go to air fryer. Now this, what you have to do is press F12. Here you have to enable one feature which is called, just 2 minutes, use alternate set component, provide standard buying and selling rate. You just make it yes, saved. Now here, standard rates, make it yes. So standard cost, selling price from 1st Jan, the rate would be 55. Okay, for air fryer. For hand booster, again, you go to standard rates. From 1st Jan, the rate would be 65. Okay, now in mixture, again, you go to standard cost, make it from 1st Jan, it should be 53. And in toaster, it should be standard cost. Here, say from 1st Jan, the rate would be 51 some in point. I'll save this. Now, you see the magic. I'll just go to voucher. I'll just click on sales. The moment I'll say customer UAE, save this, control A, sales. Now, when I say air fryer, I'm selling 920 pieces. Automatically, it's taking the rate. For this customer, I like this customer, I'm giving this one discount. Okay. Now, what happens in this hand booster? Again, 910, 650. On this, we had a discussion, we'll give a 2% discount. On mixture, say 930 piece and 53 is the rate. I've given 0.5% discount on this. And on toaster, as it's not moving, I've just put some more discount on this. 901. Rate is 55.21. So I think I've made a mistake. 55.21, and on this I'm giving 11% discount. Now, once you do it, see, automatic, the VAT has come, the cost has come, the entire invoice is in front of you. Once you save this, so I'll just go to the date. I'll make this date as 25th of Jan and save this. So once this entry is saved, you see, you just go to display daybook. So entire sales payment and everything is showing it to you here. Now, if you wanted to find what is reorder level, you just go to display, or now you go to, now say for example, you just can press stock query. Go to press stock query, and here air fryer, it will give you the entire thing. Just click here, say what is the available net pieces, entire price and everything, but it will show you in front of one script. Minimum order, reordered 100 piece, place, but entire thing will show you in front of shortfall 0 piece, everything it's showing it to you right now. So this you can set a reorder level and it will give you a report accordingly. Over and above, what you can do is, say for example, there's a cost estimation report. Any report you wanted to customize, statement of inventory, cost estimation for trading goods, sorry, cost item analysis. This air fryer you wanted to save, for stock wise you wanted to change, so this you wanted to keep it on your dashboard. So say save report. I'll just say cost estimation Yusuf. I've saved this report. Once I save this, I don't have to deep dive every time. I don't have to go. Friends, go to from here. See cost estimation Yusuf. Say air fryer, it will give you. You go back, hand booster, it will give you. Mixture, it will give you. So this is how the entire report will work like. With this, I'm mostly shown you what all things you can do in Tally. I've just overshoot 1 minute. So what I'll do is we will open for Q&A, and I'll just, the entire screen is shared. And if there is any questions, you can just write it on the chat box. Q&A, I'm very happy we're getting a lot of questions. Can we get Kahati? I've answered. Atif, how to get a breakdown of cost perform by measure? It's in cost estimation. The entire formulas are given. You can find it out. Anil, dear, how can we give a rate and cost allocation while creating a multiple stock item? I've shown you. So how it can be done while adding a multiple cost, it can be done accordingly. Then Harshal, so by doing this type of purchase, what's my expenses on purchase percent and how I can see? So the expenses will go to a expenses kitty, and it can be paid by your supplier. So your liability gets increased. The expenses. So for example, while raising anything, so Harshal has got a very nice question. What happens is when you raise a purchase or when you raise a purchase order per purchase, and when there is an additional cost, where will that indirect cost will go? Will it will never reflect on your balance sheet. It will reflect in your cost. Cost of the product has increased, so the item value of your stock has increased. It will reflect you over there. So answered live. Now, how to calculate economic order quantity? So this can be how to set. So Ariful Islam. So I think we can connect offline one-on-one. I just need to know more about your question, economic order quantity. Sagar has a question, how to set packaging list by default. So you can put it in this packaging list, you can put it in your narration and you can print it in your invoice. Sir, I'm so there is one more question, sir. I'm Ajmal, sir. I'm using currently Telegram. I need how to record import purchase VAT as per RCM, and so this will help if there is anything. And Ajmal want to know how to set up payroll. Please, what email you have registered? Please check your email. You might get a notification very soon. We have a payroll session, so we'll take that as well. Anil, how to create one report for PNL in case of several stock, how to, so this if purchase order wise PNL, this is small add-on which you can buy it on from Tally Shop, or please get in touch with your partner, they'll help you with that. Dear Yusuf, if you can send this course on my email, this is the recorded session will be sent. So once after the session, once you will get an email, you can get it accordingly. I think I've answered most of the question. If there's anything, you can write it on the chat box. Thank you so much for attending this session. And I'm very much delighted to help you with your queries and in terms of any questions. Thank you so much. And so last but not the least, what you expect before the session and after the session. Now, before the session, you didn't knew how it works, but after the session, there are so many things you have learned today, and we have put our hands on it. Key takeaway: efficient and compute to end-to-end visibility and tracking of your purchase order, automated reorder lever, arriving at your cost of import purchase, handling returns, and impact of statutory report.